And that being said, as always, my name is Whirler, and casting alongside with me today, we have Trulax.
Hey, Whirler, how you doing? Happy to be here. I'm excited to see these two teams face off against each other. As you see, Restless Lake Syndrome already picking up the signature Volibear pick they've been riding this whole season so far. I really like anti-style on that, and they also flex it towards War Leader in the jungle as well.
I'm surprised if that is going to be the Volibear top, that with set being open, they didn't just auto-lock it. I feel like with anti on the board at all, that's kind of like a superstar pick for him. Volibear could still be a flex. I think I've seen War Leader pull out the Volibear as well. Not too sure, could go either way. However, this is a pick that we have been seeing tried and true in Worlds this week. We have the cat.
We do have the cat. I'm not a huge fan of the cat personally in any game. It always just seems like you're about to get that person knocked out of the game, and then all of a sudden the cat saves the life. And then, as you spoke about Set being up for anti, he also has a signature Irelia is up right now, so maybe they're trying to bait him into a counter pick that they've been practicing on the coin flip gaming side. Or You Belong in a Museum is very comfortable against either of those picks. As we see also, the Morgana gets picked up over here for coin flip gaming. And not sure if that might be a flex over toward the support or into the mid lane. As you see Leona and the Misfortune pick up over here for Restless Leg Syndrome. I like the Misfortune with the Leona pick in the bot side. I think it's just a very safe lane for the Misfortune. And the Leona is just, it's a solid pick at all times.
We've definitely been seeing a lot of Misfortune at Worlds as well. I am not a big fan of that champion. However, that champion is so strong in the right hands. She does so much damage now. And especially with a Leona, it is a good wombo to have here in the bot lane, matched with a Morgana Jhin or Yuumi Jhin. That's actually going to be a Morgana in a solo or jungle.
Yeah, I forgot about the flexed into the jungle pick too. Morgana's a very solid jungle for her. Jungle clear is still very strong.
Definitely so. Shadow Bunny could be pulling that one out, or it could be Morgana mid. We would have to find that out as we head on into the second phase of the draft. Getting Irelia off the table, just like you said, is another pick of anti. So they're still predicting that it's going to be the Volibear in the jungle, going for these top lane bans. Could also be a mid flex as well.
Yeah, it could. I like the anti Irelia ban. I think that's everyone. It's either his set or his Irelia. You gotta take away from him. I think his Irelia is definitely his strongest, but it's one of those top laners. Like, okay, well, we'll take this, and this away from you, but he still has like a bag of tricks he just pulls from. So he's still a very solid top laner, regardless of what champ he's gonna get.
And the set is officially open for business. If that is where they're gonna go with their draft. Not too sure just yet, but looking at what they have so far constructed for RLS, having a set would give them a nice balance of damage and frontline so far, especially with a Misfortune ulti under their disposal.
Yeah, I agree. I also really like the front line so far from Restless Leg Syndrome, and I'm wondering what Coinflip Gaming has in store for their next two picks for their front line, because they really are pretty squishy so far on their draft, but it's not that I don't like the draft, I just think they need a little bit more tanking front line for their team.
And that's exactly what we should be figuring out with these last two picks on each side. 9 seconds left for Coinflip Gaming to start their second phase draft of picks. And it could be either top, mid, or jungle at this point with that Morgana being flexed around. It is a little bit up in the air. Still haven't decided where the Morgana is going to go just yet. They're going to get the counter pick, which is actually very smart of Coinflip Gaming. But they're locking in the top lane as Urgot, and that's going to be anti on the Gnar.
Ooh, I like the Gnar pick. I think Gnar is a very good play, especially into Urgot. Because you still have that little bit of moderate range attack from your auto attack, and then you have your nice boomerang proc, especially once you get your W, and really good escapes to get away from him when he tries to jump on you. So I think that's a really solid pick for him.
I'm really liking the way RLS is drafting so far, because even still without the set, the Gnar is still a good balance of tankiness and damage that they kind of need to solidify everything. And having insurance with Orianna in the mid lane, that's going to be really well centered for RLS.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they drafted a very solid team comp, especially for their engage. They have good disengage. They have really good front line. I think all around, they've got a very strong team.
And locking in, if that's locked in, it is going to be the Morgana in the jungle for game 1 of playoffs. That is one spicy draft, especially for the side of Coinflip Gaming coming into the first game of quarterfinals of FOF. We have Corki, Morgana, Yuumi. All picks that I would not expect to see.
Yeah,
I'm looking more towards the side of RLS for this game to take game number one. I like the way their draft is. I like the way that they have sort of flown in their picks, and they have a really good mix of damage and takiness. And although it's a little more on the physical side, you really only have Orianna for that constant magic damage. I still like the way it's drafted around. What do you think, Trulax?
yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think that coin flip drafted a very squishy comp. Your only tank really is Urgot for your front line, and that's good, but he's not going to last long, especially against a Gnar and a Volibear with their consistent damages they're going to be putting out, especially when you get Mega Gnar with his Q, W stun, and then his jump on you. Like, if he jumps your back line, it's not as much disengage as you might like.
And with that being said, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. We are going into game number one of the night. We are here and we are ready to take the reins and see who's going to take game one, actually. We're not going to get too far ahead of myself. So I was going to say take all the playoffs, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're starting off with a a 5-man, actually, Morgana off in the wings, in the top side on the red side. Could they be trying to get a top invade on anti? It is a 5 point for RLS, so they are a little bit spread out. They're chilling in the bush. They haven't really decided on anything yet, but they are sitting there. They are waiting in wait.
Yeah, Anti is just chilling on that top side brush. We've seen Coin Flip Gaming pull these before on these little invades, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an invade come through, but it looks like they're just going to reset and go for a regular start.
They are not a fan of forcing it down the river just yet. Sadist and Dust headed back down to the bot lane, Route already in the mid lane. We got a very, very passive start to the playoff series. No invades just yet, no early first bloods to bring on the hype just yet. Seeing a Yuumi on the Rift, I think for the first time in FOF, or at least in my eyes, it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the spot side down here with Jin Yumi. I mean, I don't know, everyone who's playing Earth right now knows about the insane Jin Yumi combo that's going on in that, so, maybe they can channel that energy into this game on the bot side.
That could definitely be so. Yumi's one of those champions that's so niche to the point where you didn't know it could work in such a competitive setting like this. And the fact that it was debuted in Worlds the way that it was, it actually works quite well. And honestly, I'm excited to see if the players of FOF can emulate such, such we've been seeing from the Worlds games.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Misfortune being picked and a lot of Leona with that Misfortune because she provides so much disengage for you and just provides a lot of sustain for you. So, the Yumi pick I think is going to be works really well for the Jin, and then the MF like with the Leona. This is going to be a pretty strong bot side play, I think, from both sides.
And so far, it's going pretty textbook for the Yuumi, getting a lot of poke, or for the Yuumi Jin bot lane, getting a lot of poke on escape already, bringing them down to half, hitting into level 2. There's not going to be any sort of 2v2ing going on there just yet. But there's a couple pings going on, and I think War Leader and Shadow Bunny are about to meet up in the river. No action just yet, although we have a little bit of an invade going on. Pengu Soul and War Leader are going for this one. Shadow Bunny is getting stunned up, taken very low, has the flash to expend, but is going to choose to keep it and just take the L route, banging their head into the wall. He's going to have to flash away, but I don't think he's getting too far. War Leader is going to be able to pick that one up for himself. And goodness me, we're starting 2-0 already.
You're seeing the power of the early Volibear. Honestly, that E hits hard with the E, the damage, and then you get that nice shield on there. He had his Q perfectly timed with the W just to eliminate the Morgana straight away, and as you saw, the Corki just not being able to help on that early invade.
Definitely so. Unfortunate start to that as well, busting Corki's flash for himself and the Valkyrie into the wall. Not good for him. He is going to be able to get back to lane just fine. Pengu Soul is going to actually expend the TP. So Pengu Soul is going to be the one out of sums in that department. Shadow Bunny held on to their flash. So that's not too bad for them. Still have a little bit of utility to cross along the board, but the gold that has been distributed to RLS, we're looking at good things.
Yeah, War Leader is a traditionally strong early jungler. I've gone against him myself. Very, very punishing, especially when he gets you behind early. So as you see, he's already invading the topside camps to take away as much of the resources away from his the enemy team's jungler as he can.
And there is a ward in that tri-bush that did spot War Leader out. So perhaps looking at the way Shadow Bunny is going, Shadow Bunny is particularly going into War Leader's jungle to sort of balance out that countering, which seems to be exactly what's going on. Shadow Bunny did clear a ward, so it was pretty obvious seeing Shadow Bunny come in here, but no rotations are had just yet. Let's see if there'll be any punish for it, like we do see.
Yeah, I like that move. It's just good warding by CFG right there. It looks like might have a gank going on right up here.
War Leader is up in the top lane. You Belong in a Museum is level 5, a level up on both of them. War Leader does not have any form of CC aside from the stun to really lock him up long enough to get him low. Is going to have to back. Will probably expend the TP as well. Looking at the way the wave is, if Anti is able to freeze this, that's going to be exceptional for him.
Yeah, and based on the wave, he might not take that TP back. It looks like he's just gonna walk it back to lane so he can keep that TP for a later play, maybe.
And speaking of a later play, with War Leader being in the top lane, Shadow Bunny is instantly going for the Dragon play. Very, very good on them. They have a bot push as well. Sadist and Dust were able to get that wave and walk it up into the river. They're starting the game off one dragon up.
Yeah, I really like that play. You notice the jungler's top side. You know that the dragon's just coming up. I think that was maybe was a miscue on the side of RLS understanding that the dragon was coming up, or they took the trade on their own. But I do really like the move. You take the objective in exchange for. I mean, they really didn't gain too much on the top side, to be honest, outside of a farm lead.
No, but Jin does have his Swifties completed. That's going to be one fast 80 carry if I've ever seen one. I know that Jin rushing Swifties is obviously very textbook. However, the lack of damage that you get from that, I guess it's made up of that fact that you have the cat on you, giving you bonus adaptive. I don't know how I feel about it. I would like double longsword more than I would like Swifties.
I would agree with you on that one. I am a huge Jin player. He's my main one to go down to the ADC role. I am a proponent for build damage first as much as you can, because if you get that heavy damage with that fourth crit, it's just an unbelievable amount of damage. That's just so good for your early plays.
Escape ahead of almost 20 CS already in the lane, which is really well. Speaking of which, Route, no flash, Valkyring away. War Leader is back for more, and a shockwave from Orianna is going to seal the deal. War Leader picking up kill number 3 of the game, and Route is really not liking the way that this bear is camping him.
Yeah, I mean, as I've stated before, it's a hard lane against for him. I think, the Ori into the Corki. I'm not so sure if, pretty sure Corki doesn't win that matchup, but maybe it's more of a comfort pick. But that's definitely it's a rough when that bear comes rolling through lane right through the brush, and you're just like, well, I die now, I guess.
Not too sure if anyone else caught that on the spectator thing. With Corki dying at 6 stacks, he TP'd to the tower, and then all of a sudden the tier changed to 9 stacks. There's no way that stacks tier.
I don't know. Maybe it does, and that's the big brain play right there that he knows about that we don't.
Speaking of which, Demon Girl going for the Hex Flash forward on Sadist, almost going to hit the Zenith Blade, is going to go wide. Sadist and Dust are going to be able to walk out of that one with their life. That being said, Escape has turned the 20 CS lead into a 30 CS lead, and that is exceptional for Escape. So much
Yeah.
damage will be coming out of them.
Yes, that's really good for him. He's just going to be able to continue to buy items if he's able to sustain this gold lead.
And Anti is a little too far for his like, and Shadow Bunny is going to be able to get some damage on him, and You Belong in a Museum is going to hook, line, and sink him into his belly.
That's really good for him right there, because he is down in CS right now by 15, and that's going to help offset that CS deficit and then bring that gold deficit back up to pretty close to even, I'd say.
I would say pretty close to even, if not ahead, if he's able to even out the CS department. 300 gold up, that's about even on CS as it gets at the current moment. So any more gold that You Belong in a Museum is able to get is just added bonus. But Anti off to the side is going to try to punish this, TPing into the tri-bush. You Belong in a Museum is going to take the 3-hit passive. Anti jumping forward. You Belong in a Museum is going to flash. Our Anti is going to flash after. That's going to be all 3 of them going out. War Leader to the top to collect Corki, and Shadow Bunny going to go down to the bot lane. They're taking it back to the Rift, and they're going to try to take that for itself.
Yeah, I think that play is a classic of one of those, we need to find a target to focus and just going on multiple targets. I think that had they focused a singular target, they might have been able to burst down at least one of RLS instead of losing 3-0.
Which is very unfortunate for them. RLS doing very, very good for themselves after dropping a kill just now to Morgana. Morgana's gank, rather. People on Museum's going to be picking that one up. They did turn it around into a 3-0 fight. Great TP from Anti to start that one off, and they stopped the Rift Herald and gained it for themselves. That is really good. It is traded in the bot lane with 1 total plate, so it is not all for naught. However, I would definitely take that fight and a Rift Herald over the plate.
Yeah, I would agree. I think though you're looking at this mid lane right now, he is down 3 deaths, but thankfully he does have a moderate CS lead right now, and he seems like he's farming okay now that he's got his rockets. But we'll see how that continues to go for him. But I think he might be able to find his way back in if he continues to farm as well as he's doing right now.
Route is evening on the CS, pretty much very even as it can get. Even pulling a little bit ahead for 3 deaths. The ulti is going to absolutely help him stack that tier even faster. Getting to his power spike, getting this Corki online. This Corki is far from out of the game, and with Infernal Dragon coming up and CFG already having one of the dragons, if they're able to pick this one up, it's going to be really good for them.
Yes, I agree. I think, as you see right now, both teams fighting for ward control over here in this dragon pit.
Mm-hmm. Escape going to take a little bit of damage from that Morgana Q, did a walk away unscathed from that, had to pop the cleanse, so not necessarily fully unscathed, but kept his life, popped a couple potions and said back to the business. They are going to be starting up this Infernal, and this can get really close. Warrior getting a lot of poke with that E. And it is down to about half. They're going to be starting this at some point. The fight's got to begin. War Leader on top of a ward that's getting TP'd on. Morgana is going to look to be able to secure this, but he's going to flash smite War Leader with the steal, and that's really good for them to deny that away. Sadist is going to have to flash out of that one. But as for Orianna and War Leader, they're going to actually go down to Corki. That was a really good package to split that fight up. Demon Girl is going to go down to Route once more, and that's going to be Route tying up his score. 3 for 3, and oh, it's not over. Escape taking a little bit of a snare. This is a little scary. I don't think you're safe here, Escape. Sadist knows, but I don't think he's going to go for it. RLS Escape is going to get out of that one. However, as for the rest of their team, Corki getting 3 kills out of that fight.
That's going to put this Corki right back in this game. He has that CS lead. But if you saw before that fight started, the Urgot started the TP, and I believe Anti jumped him for the stun to deny his TP into that fight because his TP was not up. So I think it was a very good play from Anti that wasn't slain, but that was very solid play from him out of the top side to deny that TP.
Definitely helped make the fight less worse than it already was for RLS, but RLS are going to be taking a beating after that dragon. They did get the steal. War Leader did deny that away from CFG, which in all honesty, an Infernal Drake on CFG would be so good for them. War Leader, not too happy about how that fight went, is coming right back from more and gonna jump right on top of Route's head. And that shutdown's going right into Pangusol's pocket.
Yeah, you see War Leader showing that I wasn't happy that happened to my team right there. I'm going to get that shutdown.
Definitely so, and Morgana trying to defend the tower as much as she can. Pangusol is going to go down to the tower. Good root and good stun from Shadow Bunny. Pangusol couldn't play the game, and that's 300 gold going into the pocket of Shadow Bunny.
Yep, that was Panguso just getting put into the little black box. You don't get to play the game anymore. You're stuck right here, and just take all these turret shots for me, please.
And with the Rift Herald being popped into the mid lane, the bot lane of CFG have brought it to the mid lane. They're going to try to get some plates and even it out for themselves. Shadow Bunny with these Qs. This is really good for them. Shadow Bunny is landing so many game-changing Qs, and Sade is going to pick up a kill for himself. That's really good for them now. CFG looking right back into this game.
Yeah, RLS was off to a real strong early start, but CFG really have battled back, respected their calls. They really believe in their play, so that was a very good play from them so far going into this mid game.
Oh my god, it's trade for trade, and I'm liking what I'm seeing on my screen. Bot lane of RLS did roam up to the top lane to match the Jin Yuumi, and the mid laners themselves are looking like Corki actually went straight down to the bot lane without skipping a beat, going to be even more ahead of CS. Bot lane of RLS is going to have to take the recall on this. I'm not too sure where the macro is going right now. However, with Dragon coming up in 2 minutes, definitely know where it's coming in the near future.
Yeah, I really like the build out of mid lane right now from the Orianna with the early Sork boots. I really think that early Magic Pen is going to be very helpful for her in the mid lane. So I really like that idea of Penguso picking up that early Magic Pen, as well as they're about to get their Ludens pretty soon, it looks like.
Definitely, definitely so. RLS is right on route again. Route is not in the right place at the right time. However, first turret is going to go down. He's going to trade his life for the turret. Not too sure how much I like that trade, but you know what? Something is something. And I believe that is called Final Chapter being thrown out by Dust. A little bit miscommunication right there. Sadist was walking a little bit forward. Dust thought it was time to pull the trigger. Fortunately, it was not. Sadist is going to have to walk out of that with half health. Nothing going on after that, though. Route biting the dust again.
Yeah, I think that Yumiel was maybe just that adrenaline from the quarterfinals of FOF, just a real quick trigger finger on that one, thinking if they landed that Morgana Q from the brush, that they were going to be able to solidify themselves another kill in the mid lane.
Route got the package again. You know what time it is. Dragon coming up in 45 seconds. Route will definitely have that package by the time it spawns. Anti does have TP advantage over You Belong in a Museum. So You Belong in a Museum has to assess that and start making a decision here pretty soon. 30 seconds on the Dragon. We got a lot of setup going in for this one.
Yes, the CFG is really taking control of this whole Dragon Pit side, as we see Anti, though, on the top side with that 43 gold lead, it looks like, 42 gold lead. So he is honestly putting the hurt on the Urgot on the top side.
42 CS lead, you mean? Definitely so. Urgot is a little bit behind here in this top lane, and the package had to be burned out by Route already. He was too far forward for his own good. That's going to be a huge ability wasted going into this Dragon as it's spawning right now. Sadist, Route, and Yuumi are fending for themselves. The Shadow Bunny coming up the corner. This is going to be RLS's fight with how split up CFG are. They could just pick a direction and go for it. They are taking a little bit of poke here from Route. They are taking about half. War Leader is getting the response from Anti, though. He's gonna have Mega Gnar coming up here in just a quick second. But the damage from Sadist, almost, he's gonna have to flash the Gnar, and he gets out with his life. Unfortunately, Shadow Bunny was not too lucky. War Leader gonna have to get a little bit tanking from his team. Pengu Soul coming in with the supportage on that. But the MF ult that we all know and love is coming out, and Anti is gonna pick up both of them off the other side. You Belong in the Museum finally made his way down, lands the ulti onto War Leader, does eat him right up, but it does not matter. He's gonna go to the grave following that, and without the jungler, they still will be able to pick up this Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, it looks like they're on their way towards the Rift Herald. Maybe push this mid lane wave in and then go for that Rift Herald. I think that seems like what they might be doing, or maybe they're going to get a quick reset.
I think they might be going for the reset on this one. Rift Herald is a good idea, however, with how invaluable the second Rift Herald is compared to the first one, I think they're just going to wait for Baron. Then they're just going to call it in terms of objectives on that one.
Yeah, not a bad call to take that quick reset, spend that gold, get back on the Rift stronger, and then force your next play.
Shadow Bunny, however, is looking to have the opposite ideas RLS is having, getting some vision up in the top lane. They could be looking for this themselves, and they're going to start it up. Where one man's trash is another man's treasure, I think CFG would like to get this Rift Herald and help get them some turrets to help push this gold lead into their favor. They're down 3k right now, which isn't too terrible given their situation.
Ooh, looks like we're set up for a fight here.
A Demon Girl landing the CC on Sadist. Sadist gonna have to cleanse out of that one. Does get the Morgana root as well. The Rift Herald is still violently low, and Shadow Bunny is almost gonna be able to take that one, but the ulti from RLS, War Leader, is ulting in and is gonna be able to smite it out. Barely getting out alive, but the Gnar into the wall is gonna stun up Route. Route's gonna go down. Anti starting this one off strong and escape with the damage coming out. Dust taken down to 1 HP. That cat's on her 9th life, and they are going to be able to get out of this one unscathed. But Shadow Bunny's going back for more. The Dark Binding lands on escape, takes his entire health bar, and Shadow Bunny is not done just yet. War Leader really letting himself go, almost taking himself out. Gonna smite the blue buff for some extra HP. They're still clowning here, and Anti's getting a bunch of damage on Shadow Bunny. No Zhonya's yet, means that this is the end for her, and there goes the cat as well. Misfortune gonna pick up on that one. And that was a little bit of a clown fiesta, but you know what? RLS are down to clown.
Yeah, and that was a very extended team fight. I felt as soon as they got the Rift Herald and they were disengaging, I felt like Coinflip Gaming maybe have taken their losses there.
Ooh, good shockwave from Pangusol. Punishing Sadist says, that's my ward, and that's your grave. That's really good for them, getting the pick on to Jin. Baron coming up in about 30 seconds. They're going to get some vision off of that one.
Oh yeah, that was actually very key for them to set up their top side vision so that they can get prio on this Baron.
And you belong in a museum getting chased out of home. He's got to run away from that one. Evacuate because the storm is coming, and the Storm Bear himself, thinking it's more of Shadow Bunny's jungle, is a little bit behind in terms of CS. But honestly, I think with how much Volibear has been doing in terms of objective-wise, I would say this Volibear is massively ahead of Morgana at this point, especially with 6 kills.
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's been made his presence known on the map. His macro moves have been very strong, and he's been able to get most of the objectives except for one Drake away from Coinflip Gaming. So I would say his macro presence and map presence has been a lot more noticeable than Shadow Bunny, even though he is losing in farm.
That being said, Shadow Bunny has partaken in a lot of the reason that CFG are still in this game. So many good bindings coming out from Shadow Bunny to turn kills around into their favor. I mean, the triple kill from Route was pretty good on himself, but these bindings in the mid lane that we saw about 10 minutes ago from Shadow Bunny were amazing. Speaking of which, Route coming in with the package, trying to get escape very low, is going to be able to secure him. Route is going to be low, but he's got a cat on him. He's going to be able to take out the bear as well. A binding coming out is going to secure Pangusol as well. Shockwave is not going to matter to the cat and the Yordle, and they're going to be bumping it up to the Baron because they just killed 3.
Yeah, that was a very good play from right over from the Raptors, just right over there into the mid laner, just forced him out and get 3 kills there, 3 kills richer, and now they get this free Baron.
Definitely so, and that is going to fully stack Routes, or I think a little bit after the Baron, it's going to fully stack the Mirror Mana for Route, and that's going to really be the biggest power spike that he needs. Got about, I would say, I think that is 7 more abilities to use, assuming they don't hit the champion. But just like here, we're seeing, this is honestly, I don't know what the heck I just saw, but the Valkyrie Inn is going to trade for Shadow Bunny. Shadow Bunny is going to go down to the escape. Ultimate Anti going to get the boomerang. Sadist is going to go down. They just got Baron, and they just lost it. Wow. They went for the fight. Valkyrie forward. Route went down almost instantly. Dragons up, and they're going to be able to get soul point for RLS. Oh no, the throws from CFG.
It's just a classic grief from League, as you see many times in your own games there, Whirler, where you go, they get the Baron buff, and you immediately go, we need to fight right now. And it's just, no guys, let's reset, let's get prio in lanes, but sometimes the buff's just too much to handle, and you just get drunk off that power.
And that's a pretty good description of exactly what happened. Soul Point is going to go to RLS, to Ocean Drake's Richer, and they're going to be, well, just 4 minutes away for fighting for that Ocean Soul, and that's a pretty good soul to have for such a team as RLS.
Yeah, it's going to play really well into disengaging away from CFG's engage, where you're just constantly healing. And so I just think that this is actually a very good draw for them on the Dragon pick.
Very, very much so, and with both objectives off the map coming up at the exact same time, by the way, which is very fun to note. We got a big neutral coming on where I don't think much fighting has to be had between the two teams. They can just get lanes pushing and sort of play a little game of chess until one of these objectives nears spawn. I think with one Baron left on CFG is going to be enough for them to try to group around bot lane, try to open up the map a little bit. But Anti, not liking where Route's standing. He wants Route to stand a little bit further away. War Leader flashing forward is going to get stunned up. He's going to ulti forth onto Route with the Orianna ult behind him. The Gnar into the wall is going to kill him off. And you belong in the museum's not even close to getting Escape before Escape gets a triple kill for that fight. Very, very good response to CFG's aggression in the bot lane. That's all their Barons officially gone, and they're walking it to the mid lane. And with 4 down for about 20 more seconds. I don't think they can get the inhib, but they can definitely start to open it up a little bit.
Yeah, that was the classic as we spoke about in draft right there, where you had those three huge tanks up front, and then you just had misfortune in the backline, like a running back running behind the lineman, just like straight up runs right into the end zone, got all those kills.
And one auto attack from Escape is enough to bring Sadis to half. That's the power of lethality MF if I've ever seen it. Not going to be able to open up the base just yet, but like I said, we'll get a little bit of damage on it to start them off right. Route, no package, is looking to get some poke. Pengu Soul taking it. Good lord, that's a lot of damage from those rockets. That wasn't even a big rocket just yet, but Anti, he's got the Mega Gnar, and he does have ulti. He's not going to use it just yet. But oh my god, he's going to be eating for breakfast. You Belong in a Museum is going to take him right up. And this is a good MF ult. This is a corridor. And you know what MF does in those corridors. She drops that ultimate. And good lord, there goes 3 of CFG. And they're running with their tails between their legs. RLS taking it back to mid lane. Almost really bad for RLS. But because of those jungle lanes, that was exceptionally beautiful for Escape to just press the R button. Now they get a free in it.
Yeah, I saw the Orianna ult that grouped them all together, and then within 5 seconds, you saw RLS turn and quickly use that R button to actually get all that damage down. Able to turn that play to crack open the base, which was great for them.
Escape taking the fast route to the top lane, gonna go through the tower, gonna take a Gen W for his troubles. Isn't gonna matter too much. They're not gonna be able to push up this top lane, but with Dragon and Baron coming up in a $150. They are looking to pressure with what they got, and with Baron in the mid lane, it is going to keep CFG in the right area for both objectives, as opposed to where if it was top or bottom, they could choose exactly which one they can fight for. That being said, it is plain and simple. RLS are really strong. They want to get these dragon. They want to get Dragon Soul. They want to get Baron Soul. Which do you think is the better option for them?
For RLS, I definitely think you want that Dragon Soul. I definitely think that that's going to be better for you in the long term. But I think if I was CFG, I would get some wards around the dragon and then go for the Baron while they take the dragon, because we know they're going to put that prio on that dragon side, and we can get ourselves a free Baron buff to hold ourselves for any sort of, like, we're trying to turtle, we can hold that buff off from them. So I think maybe you give the Drake for the Baron, but that's just how I think. What do you think?
I personally would like to see a fight for it, because if you give one to the other, it's not going to matter too much. And if you give Ocean Soul to RLS, it will spell a lot of disaster for CFG, despite the trade being also useful for them. With Baron on CFG, they would have to make a lot of use of it in order to pull ahead of what Ocean Soul would give to them. Good lord, Pengu Soul gonna have to flash for his troubles being a little too far forward. That being said, Route is doing a lot of damage this game, speaking of which. And so with Ocean Soul, denying Ocean Soul away from RLS will help Route's poke so much. With that being said, that's some good damage going to package away from that. And Escape is taken very low, 8 seconds before Dragon Spawn. They're contesting this Dragon. They're trying to deny it away from them as much as possible. Anti off to the side, trying to get Mega Gnar as fast as possible, going to be taken very low, but a good MF ult. Sadist is not going to have a chance. And You Belong in a Museum tanked just a quick second of that, but there goes his HP. Speaking of which, Route going to one-shot Pengu Soul from 0. And with the cat on him, oh my god, Route lasted so much longer than he should have. But Dust is only one left alive, and Dust is going to bite it as soon as everyone else around the cat is dead. And RLS, without taking either, we had a big conversation about which one they should take, but I think the true answer is after you kill 5, it's time to run it down mid.
Yeah, you can't, if you can't get those two because you just took their entire team, might as well take their Nexus.
And RLS are going to look to take game number 1 of the day. Sadis left to fight on his own. Don't think he's going to be able to do it here today. Sadis with the 4th shot is going to try his best, but that's going to be plus 50 going to RLS, and they're taking game number 1.
Yeah, what a game. As we said, I mean, I feel like we felt this way. It might go this way when we were in the draft, but definitely some solid play out of the mid game from Shadow Bunny. I think he really was trying his hardest with all those key bindings he was getting and getting those kills for Route, and really got that Corki back in the game. As you see, his damage chart was off the charts.
Woo, quite literally, Lethality MF making a scene for itself here on FOF. The cat, unfortunately, we've seen two Worlds debuts here on stage. And honestly, I'm liking the way that RLS played this MF. That damage is incredible. Route, on the other hand, doing a lot of damage himself as well. This is really good for them. The healing from Yuumi, I mean, you know it good and well how much of that cat can do in a fight. Keeping Route alive in those fights, that was very, very close. And that could have spelled disaster if it went in the way of CFG. With that being said, stay tuned because we'll be right back for game number 2 of the night. 1-0 for RLS. Let's see exactly where this series will go. Don't go anywhere.